ask you this question if you haven't pondered on it. How safe are you online? Well, it's time to review your digital security as we mark Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And experts say most online attacks can be avoided as they are due to human error. To discuss this, we have Siyabonga Mabuza, owner and co-founder of Spotted Ingwe Consulting. Thank you so much for joining us. And just very quickly, good afternoon to you, by the way. And just very quickly, looking at the level of awareness, or, in terms of cybersecurity and whether people actually pay attention to it, in your view.
I think it's picking up over the past couple of years. People were not really taking it seriously, but because now most of the people are online and on Instagram, they have social media accounts, they're starting to pick up, but I think more should be done.
Yes, and what is it, especially with the sophisticated criminal networks online, everything does look legitimate, even if it's phishing or being scammed. It doesn't take a genius necessarily to figure it out, but in most cases, people are duped across the spectrum.
It's because these trends are becoming way more sophisticated. I think it's understandable why people are duped because they're becoming more and more realistic. So cybersecurity scammers or attackers out there are upskilling their skills as the digital security streams are also increasing their offerings. So are the cybersecurity criminals. So it's becoming way more complex to actually pick it up. So we need to be more vigilant when we are transacting online.
And to be vigilant obviously requires for you to have some form of software that will give you the protection, the firewalls that you need to protect your information. So this does come at a cost. What does one need to look at when you want to procure security for your home devices?
You're right. So it does come at a cost, but there are things that are available on some of the latest smartphones. So if you have a smartphone, there's certain security that's built in there, which doesn't come at a cost to you because you already bought the device. So I think it's important for us to, first of all, understand our devices, be it the mobile phones, be it your laptops, your tablets. All devices do come with some built-in functionality to protect you. Secondly, your question around what can we do to protect ourselves at home? So first of all, if you have things like your Wi-Fi or your home fiber, just password protect them because that's one of the most easiest way to be vulnerable, where a cybersecurity scammer can latch onto your private network at home and then attack you from that angle. So that's the one. Secondly, when you're at home, if you are transacting online, change your passwords regularly. It's very important because if you don't, it becomes very easy. And avoid things like using kids' birthdays or information that can be easily sourced through a conversation with you. You can also try things like maybe a line from one of your favorite songs. It's very difficult to hack that. So try using a little bit more complex passwords. I think the standard is around 12, which must be a mix of letters, uppercase letters, funny characters like your @ sign, your hashtags, things like that. So and mix it with numbers as well. So it's very important that we change our passwords regularly and we actually are mindful when we're creating our passwords. We're not just doing it for the sake of. And there are also tools from reputable security software providers that can assist with you with actually strengthening your passwords. So those are the top 2 tips. It's firstly, just be aware. Secondly, password protect your Wi-Fi networks. Thirdly, change your passwords regularly. Those are things that are not really at a cost, but can really save you from a cyber attack.
And is it advisable to also save your password so that to avoid having to recreate another one, or sometimes you forget what the password is? There is that option, I think, on Google where it gives you the option to save the password every time you go onto that particular site. You don't have to punch in that password.
Yeah. So if you are using online tools like Google, please make sure you use something called the multi-factor authenticator. So usually you'll see with Google, they'll be like, do you want to save this password? And it asks to scan your face or use your thumbprint or use your phone security. That's the multi-factor authentication. So you can't just access that password. So yes, it's advisable if you're using secure tools and it goes with an additional layer of security. Some security software providers might ask you for your cell phone number and they'll send you a number like a PIN that you can use to retrieve your password. That's advisable. But what is not advisable is if you're saying, I'm going to bypass this online security software protocols, but I'm going to take a picture of my password, or I'm going to write it down in a notebook, or I'm going to use the same password for all my applications, be it banking, be it social media. That is not advisable.
But you say that the scams online are avoidable because it's due to human activity, malicious activity. But there are red flags, indicators that this is probably a scam, and yet we do fall prey to it depending on your circumstances, because these the syndicates know exactly, they work on the vulnerability of a person or the level of desperation. It could even be the love scam. You've heard of the Tinder scammer, etc. So what is it that still, when people can see that this is probably too good to be true, and yet you still fall prey to it?
Yeah, that's a very big one. So like we've been saying, think before you click. So if something is too good to be true, it's just ticking all the right boxes that you were dreaming of or thinking of, then you need to open your eyes. Secondly, there are certain telltale signs. So like when they tell you your grandmother from England has passed away and you've never been in England, but you want the money, and they tell you you have so many pounds in this trust. It's not a real story. If you think about it, do you have relatives in England or in overseas? If you don't, then don't click. Secondly, some of these scammers like sending links. Oh, you got a job interview, you're going to have an interview online, click on this online telecommunications link. You need to be very aware of clicking before, you need to think before you click. And secondly, there's also those scammers that mask their data. They're like, I am from the government or from SARS, I'm here to collect some revenue from you. But there's things that they do that are telltale. So things like when you hover over the link, you can see that the link says something else from SARS or says something else from that reputable bank or that reputable institution you're trying to transact with. So if you just scrutinize the link that they're giving you or any information that they're giving you, you can see that something's not right. Or sometimes they might misspell the domain or the company that you're working with or that you're supposed to meet with. So those are also telltale signs that there's a spelling error, if the link doesn't match the name, if the sender, or if there's a lot of spelling errors in the comms itself, in the email communication to you. Then that should alert you that something's not right here. And if the font is funny, if the logo looks like it's just not right, it's just something about it is not right, then you should trust your gut in that instance and don't transact any further.
No, totally get it. Thank you so much for that advice. That's Siyabonga Mabuza, the owner and co-founder of Spotted Ingwe Consulting, as we mark a Cybersecurity Month, creating awareness and also encouraging people to be vigilant. If it seems too good to be true, it's probably a scam.